Good morning, you prep students. I'm your host Kyle.
And I'm your host, Dione.
And let's get straight into the news. Football conditioning takes place all week at Obama from 3:30 to 6.
And if you are interested into the baseball tryouts, please contact Coach Hilterbraun in the cafeteria.
And if that's not the right sport for you, you might be interested in playing volleyball. If you're planning on trying out for the volleyball team, attend the open gym next Wednesday at Obama from 3:30 to 5:30.
There will be a half day this Friday, March 3rd, with no lunch.
And now it's time to take a look back on last week's morning motivation.
I'm very happy to be here and talk to you today about what we discussed at Morning Motivation. So today we talked about positive masculinity, and the reason why we felt it was necessary to do that is because we notice a lot in our schools, in our society, in our workplace. We see a lot of negative reflections of masculinity. We're following a lot of stereotypes, whether they be men have to be physically superior to women, men have to make more money than women. Even amongst other men, men have to be alpha males, meaning they have to be the leaders of the pack. And if you're not a leader by nature, then you just kind of get swallowed up and it doesn't really matter what you're doing. So we wanted to basically push back against all of the stereotypical behaviors associated with masculinity, which is also toxic masculinity. And we wanted to talk about positive masculinity. What are some ways that we as boys and men can express ourselves, express our masculinity in a way that builds up other people? So some of the things that we came up with were, one, if you have a fear of asking for help because you don't want to look weak, then we're saying that positive masculinity is admitting I need help and then trying to seek help from others. But admitting that you need help is also an act of vulnerability. So it requires that you're vulnerable to being able to ask for help and to look potentially weak. But we don't see asking for help as a weakness. We see it as a strength. So that's just one example of positive masculinity that we really wanted to get across to the students. And we also showed a clip from the show Family Matters that featured a young man who was on a date with a girl who's friends with Steve, but the young man was talking to his friends, basically letting them believe that they slept together when in reality that's not what happened. And positive masculinity was Steve stepping in and saying, hey, you're not going to disrespect her like that, and you're not going to talk about her in a negative way just to look cool in front of your friends.
Today in Black History Month, we honor Phyllis Wheatley. She was the first published black poet in America by 1767. By the time she was 13, she was writing her own poems. She was dubbed the Sable Muse.
And for lunch today, we will be having meatball huggy with sweet corn, PB&J Uncrustable, turkey ham and cheese, pretzel sandwich. The side choices are pineapple T-bits cup and a sort of fresh fruits and veggies.
And last but not least, the quote of the day is, "Fear is the killer of creativity. You have to fail early, fail often, and you have to fail forward." Will Smith.
Thanks for watching. I've been your host Kyle.
And I'm your host, Dione.
And Zolcat TV. We'll see you next time.